That's Trump. No, we got President Trump, not President Trump, sucker. He will never back down.
My whole crew, keeping it mega when we roll through. Hey, when we roll through, keeping it mega. My whole crew, keeping it mega when we roll through. Keeping it mega.
You know blacks voting Trump, I heard Biden's gonna fire us. But that's okay, cause Donald Trump's about to hire us. I pay the IRS, they send my bread to Ukraine. They killing babies, getting abortions, that's the new wave. 100 bands up on my chain, baby, I'm a rich slave. You voting Democrat, just know that come with 3K. The glove don't fit, they must have quit. OJ in this a message to Alvin Bragg. Uncle Trump is innocent. I was just in the Bronx, I seen it with my own eyes. It's a red wave, baby, I'm a patriot for life. Robert De Niro, ooh boy, we laughing at you. Let me guess, Donald Trump raped you too? Trump just ain't running against Biden at all. I blame the fake news, baby, they the virus. ABC, NBC, CNN too. I blame Obama and Bush, the Clinton family too.
Black president, Donald Trump. Young niggas make me feel pissed. You know what I'm saying? I'm Michael Black man. Blacks for Trump. You hear what I'm trying to tell you to your face? You don't understand me. Get out of my face. Democrats gonna say, ooh, Shoot-bop, when the edge on the United States, come grab my teeth from my throat to my head. To unfuck up the left and the right, you know she got begging. And give up some loving, she don't stop begging. I know you're jealous about that, Democrat. Black president, Donald Trump, been spending most their lives living in a future paradise. Been wasting most their days, trying days long gone behind. Who of them who come to be? How many of them are you and me? Separation, come on. Separation. Everybody must stick together. That's right. Integration. The man. Boom, boom. They can't fight against the black man and the white man when we are in unity. You see what I'm saying? Come on. Stick together. Stick together. This the roster speaking to your yes. Trump, black. You know what I'm saying? Latin, black and white must unite. You know what I mean? Little more, you know, see? Right.
They wanted me to spit reality rap.
What the problem is?
Whatever that fucking mean. Yeah.
Let's go.
Fuck you niggas and I mean that. You want war, bitch, I bring that. Real niggas dressing all black. I'll put your life in the past. All you lames ain't gon' last. Put that dumb shit in the trash. I be yellow in the jungle while them with gorillas even when it's fast. I was boosting them was back up. Run all up in your stash house. Tell you niggas kick the cash out. 45 on your ass. A lot of y'all dudes is acting. Keep on saying that y'all trapping. Put you right up on the news channel 45 asking what happened. Big nigga and I'm hustling. I dare you niggas try to touch me. So official like the rep. I got some real niggas that'll leave you dusty. I ain't never had nothing. Making something out of nothing. Out there grinding real hard trying to turn the devil to an English muffin. I whip the work like a slave nigga. Streets know I'm a go-getter. I can never be a whole nigga. Real facts, you's a whole nigga. Catch the boy in the cup. Watch the pot bubble up. Profit going double up. Really never give a fuck. My whole hood really bout that. Cross the line, then we off black. Kill a nigga when it's all black. Smoke you chumps like some gas. My father never really fuck with me. None of these niggas can't fuck with me. Say it twice if you remember me. None of y'all can't fuck with me. So high, I wait like I just caught the molly. Wait for a young dumb ass nigga to try me. Giving them shots to the face of the body. Guns like a boxer, man, shots to the body. I done did a lot of dumb shit, a lot of beat a hater up type shit. I got that shit straight from high and knock a nigga out real. I saw the scenes of that musty. It was loud, it was crunchy. That's when housing came and rushed me. That's when housing came and rushed me. Keep around every corner, had me on the ground. That's when they cuffed me. Had to switch the game up. Started capping up for slugs. I'm getting money, nigga, what? I'm getting money, nigga, what? Nobody couldn't tell me nothing cause a real nigga never gave a fuck. Homie told her that was fucked up. Real talk, that was fucked up. When I see you little nigga hit you with a 40, let you know your time's up. Gritty nigga still hungry. Yes, the boy still hungry. I be in my own lane fighting like a chick. I'm getting to the money. Get all that stupid shit. I'm gonna give me some money and ball out. I'ma stack it so high to the ceiling that when it come to my house, you gon' fall out. Only real niggas know what I'm talking about. Shoot up for niggas like film in a movie. Speed up for reals like be shooting a Uzi. Crossing the beach, you be out of here. Homie, you know I don't show no fear. Treat you like magic, you disappear. Make sure you haters is crystal clear. Get them away from here. Get them out of here. Get them out of here.
There you go, man. Dress it up to make it real for me. Whatever that fuck me. For you bitch ass niggas.
This is a manufactured criminal case.
Ridiculous charges.
What happened today was offensive to the Constitution.
They've never articulated the crime here.
Awaken the sleeping giant.
What the radical left Democrats are counting on is your silence and your submission.
No one's going to stop us. No one's going to slow us down.
The only way for us to fight back successfully is to elect Donald Trump in November.
When President Trump came out and said the real verdict will be on November 5th, he couldn't be more right.
But don't get mad. Get motivated.
We will fight for our Constitution. This is long from over. Thank you very much.
Let me take you higher and show you how you should feel. Baby, something now and forever hold your body. Whatever it is you want to be, baby. See, you don't have to say nothing. Know your body wants something. It's easy for me to see that your body is going for me. I can hear it calling me. You know the words. I can hear it calling me. Yeah. I can hear it calling me. I went to R. Kelly concert. He's here, this right here. Hey. I hear you calling me. I hear you calling me. I'm listening. I thought I heard somebody over here calling me. Whoa, whoa. Yeah. I'm listening. I hear you calling me. I'm listening. I hear you calling me. I heard somebody over here calling me. Whoa, whoa. Yeah.
This president deserves the support of the Black community because he's earned it.
There is a silent majority of us that see you, See what you're doing. See what you did for HBCU schools. That was actually the deal for us.
I wager to say that there is no American president since Lincoln that has had the impact for Black America that President Trump has had.
Joe Biden supported the crime bill in '94.
He has imprisoned Black America, basically.
Trump supported the NAACP and Black youth like myself in '87.
He's a businessman. He's bringing businesses back into America.
Bringing jobs back to America. Bringing the truth back, and he's stopping needless wars.
My day is going to be like amazing. I'm never going to forget this day. This day is historic.
In 2016, I made you a solemn pledge. I would be your greatest champion. In the first 3 years, we achieved the lowest Black unemployment rate in history. We achieved the largest job gains for African Americans on record. The poverty rate for African Americans reached the lowest level ever recorded. I did more for the Black community in 47 months than Joe Biden did in 47 years.
We cannot deny that that man has done everything that he has set out to do in record-breaking time. Can we say 3 years? Can we say 3 years?
We will create 3 million new jobs for the Black community. Open 500,000 new Black-owned businesses. Bring even greater fairness to the justice system. We did criminal justice reform.
I want to thank President Donald John Trump.
Create a ladder of opportunity for African American children by delivering school choice to every parent in America. Together we made unbelievable progress and achieved once unimaginable success. And with your support, your vote, and your voice, the best is yet to come.
You can expect us to come out in droves in your support. For absolute certainty. That's a certainty.
Show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yeah. Let's get it popping. Let's get it popping. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Shout out to the greatest team in the land, the Dream Team. Let me give you an update of what happened, man. Shout out. What's going on? Let's get these salutations out the way. If you want to donate to the channel, you look at the bottom of the screen. You can donate to the Cash App at $OfficialDanaJay. Or if you look at the bottom of the box, if you on YouTube, there's a little box on there with a $sign in it. That's called the Super Chat. You go ahead and put whatever you want in there. If you on Rumble, it's a little circle, it's a little pot with a $sign in there. That's called the money pot. You go ahead and put that joint on there. But hey, so much has came out. So much is still coming out. So I'm going to say this. There's a lot of people that's pissed off at me. And guess what? I don't care. Because I'm going to continue spreading the truth. Be hot. You feel me? I'm going to continue doing the things that make me hot. So people going to get mad all they want. I mean, I get it. I mean, shoot. If I was you, I'd be mad at me too. So with that being said, a lot of people talking about, oh, I hate what Trump is doing. It's just not right. Trump don't need to do that. And Trump don't need to do this. And Trump this and Trump that and Trump this. And listen, the reason why I'm going with this story today, because it's the hottest story out right now. This is the hottest story out besides the 50 Cent jump. And I'm going to touch on that briefly. And when I say briefly, I mean briefly. Because I got into it with my sister. Man, my sister got into it because she was like, 50 petty. He act like a little kid and this and this. Listen to what I'm going to say to you. And listen to me good. If we are beefing in life. Nope. And before I say that, I got to go here. If you are part of a team that tried to unalive me in real life, right? And we are beefing in real life, we're going to be beefing in death too. I want you to know that. So I don't feel sorry for nobody. 50 doing what he had to do. And as far as the BMF thing, I hate to see it end like this. But I'm just like 50. If you team up with my ops, you are the op. And y'all seen me carry it like that on the internet. I carry it like that in real life. If you teaming up with my op, then you are the op. I can't trust you. Lord Meech was just a casualty in the middle. There's no way you can carry somebody's son under your arm and you beefing with their father. That's stupid. You got to cut it all out. So I hope I made my stance clear with that. Second thing, in court today, nothing happened. I'm not even going to run with what's going on. Y'all can go to Wisdom's Daughter channel. Wisdom's Daughter got a good thing going on. Go to Wisdom's Daughter channel, and she pretty much putting it out there. Terrence, love you back, bro. Hey, Thick Baby, did you get your seasoning yet? Galatians, what's up? Mama Mary was good. Tiff, what up? Tiff, it's time for you to re-up on some seasonings too, right? Miss Lady T, what's going on? What's going on? But I seen some of the brothers in here. Let me see. Let me see if I seen it right. Let me see. Nell Taylor, Tammy J, what's up? They the sisters. My brother Terrence is in here. What's up? Lexington, what's up? Lavero, hey. Teresa, what's going on? Shout out to everybody that's in here today. Ones, we having fun. Now, I'm going to tell you this, man. Okay, Thick Baby, it should be there tomorrow. I'm going to tell y'all this, man. Everybody, and I'm going to tell you, I'm starting this live off hard. So if you can't take the truth, leave. I'm going to show some things that's going to bust your head open. I've been called a conspiracy theorist because I said that Michelle Obama is a man. And for years, people, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. That's a woman. That's this. Listen, I haven't met not one real woman whose hand was as big as mine or bigger. Understand that. I haven't met one real woman who have matching hands that's bigger than mine and shoulders broader than mine. So for people who say that Michelle is not Big Mike, y'all didn't even believe his mother when his mother said, I left my earnings to my only begotten son. And she only had one child. But y'all calling her Michelle. So, I'm about to drop a bombshell, and then we're going to go straight in. Bombshell and all, okay? Sit back and strap up. Y'all not ready for what I'm about to drop. Let's go. Play. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong page. Play.
Miss Rivers, how are you? You made a ton of news officiating the wedding in New York yesterday. Is this like a new cottage career move for you?
I'm so excited.
Okay.
And I should do very well because I don't charge.
And do you think that the country will see the United States will see the first gay president or the first woman president?
We already have it with Obama, so let's just calm down.
Got it.
You know Michelle is a trans.
I'm sorry, she's a what?
A transgender. We all know.
Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. It's okay. She does this.
Child, that footage of Joan Rivers exposing Barack and Michelle Obama just never gets old, right? And it's always been super sus how she died literally weeks after saying that Michelle is trans and Barack is on the DL. But was there any truth to whatever she said? And what has Michelle Obama said about the speculations made by Joan Rivers in light of their family secrets being exposed left, right, and center in the last couple of weeks? Yes, honey, the internet is going wild with speculations of Barack being on the DL, Michelle being a dude, people who allegedly died because of their family secrets like Chef Tafari Campbell, and so much more. It's crazy, y'all. It's super crazy. And as always, I will be breaking down the tea. Okay, you all know that over the years, people have speculated that because Michelle is a bit masculine, she is either a man or trans. Like, folks have even gone to weird extents of photoshopping her photos to prove the point. But it's not just about some photoshops here and there. When I tell y'all that there's a long paper trail of alleged receipts, baby, even I couldn't believe it when I decided to go down that rabbit hole. For starters, people have always pointed out over the years how Barack Obama mistakenly called Michelle Michael or Mike during a couple speeches and interviews. And I'm talking about this happening a few times, y'all.
Distinguished guests and men and women of the finest military in the world.
Hey family, I want to offer you an opportunity to get information that the general public does not have. Behind the scenes, private one-on-one coaching, information with tools, keys, and principles that will catapult you to the...
Most of all, Admiral Mullen, Deborah, Michael and I also want to acknowledge your son Jack, who's...
Keep the noise levels up.
Want to make sure he knows we're coming, or she.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if she's got some cubs, that's when you really got to worry.
Yeah. You know what my kids asked me? They said, you've got to ask the president, does anything scare him?
You know, well, when Michelle's mad, I get worried.
Other than this, there's how the Obamas always posted wedding pics, but no pregnancy pics or pics of the girls until 3 to 6 years old. Apparently, Michelle tries to tell the public that Malia and Sasha were conceived through IVF. But the truth is that the daughter's real mother is allegedly Dr. Anita Blanchard, who was supposedly the same doctor that delivered the Obama daughters. There are even photos of the two families vacationing together in Hawaii that made rounds with people claiming that the real parents, Martin Nesbitt and Dr. Anita Blanchard, were always following closely behind so they could keep an eye on the Obamas. Oh, I'm just getting started, loves, because this is one hell of a rabbit hole. So based on what people dug up on the internet, there are receipts suggesting that Michelle Obama was registered to vote as a man from 1994 until 2008, according to documents allegedly obtained from the Illinois State Board of Elections. Allegedly, Michelle officially changed her gender to female in 2008.
I'm going to pause that for a second, right? I'm going to pause that for a second. You know I got it. You know I got it. You know I got it. So here's the paperwork. Right? Here's the paperwork. And right here say old value. This is when you changing your gender and everything, right? Sex. M. Do that stands for female or male? Sex. M. Old value. Sex. M. New value. Sex. F. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. And this is official paperwork from the voting commissioner's office in Chicago, Illinois. Date 7/14/2008. If anybody want this, I'll send it to you. I'm just trying to figure out, why was she voting as a man up until 2008? That's when she started voting as a female. I mean, I'm just trying. Wait, Mayor. We ain't gonna do that now. We ain't gonna do that now. Cause I'm gonna jump into that too. Listen, I'm gonna jump into that too, baby. But what I want to have you to see is that when you have transformers in front of you, it's always good for somebody to just put out there what they really are. You feel me? Because whether they male or female, everybody deserves love, right? But I just want to show you how she changed her genders. So for people that want to tell me, Dana, I'm lying, I'm a conspiracy theorist, it's right here in your face. Now, what reason would she have, or he have, or Shem have to lie on a commissioner's paper? It's the board of election commissions, to be honest. See, a lot of people ain't going to have this type of paperwork. A lot of people ain't going to see this. They'll look at the video and be like, oh, yeah. Nope, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. And when I go get it, guess what? I go get it. So with that being said, let's jump back into this video before we jump into what's going on now time. Okay? All right, let's go.
Same year her husband was running for the presidency. People have also reposted a tweet from Barack's half-brother Malik asking the question, is Michelle Michael? Meaning there are family members who also find everything suspicious. Then roughly 3 years later, Malik released a follow-up tweet stating he could not confirm or deny the legend of Big Mike, aka Michael LaVaughn Robinson. Malik has actually posted a few more times, including as recently as 2024, about how he believes that Michelle is a he, and the Obamas are trying to hide her true identity. I mean, for a couple that has generally been praised as the perfect couple all over the world, even I have to admit that all this info is shocking, and it gets even juicier. In the last couple of days, there have also been reports that the Obamas have gotten rid of some of the people who knew about their family secrets, like Chef Tafari Campbell. The thing is, Chef Tafari had been working in the White House, and he went on to work for the Obama family as a personal chef after they left office. While at the White House, Tafari was one of the chefs who brewed White House Honey Ale beer, using honey from Michelle's South Lawn garden. And in 2012, the White House even released a video of Tafari and then assistant chef Sam Cass demonstrating the beer making process. Unfortunately, Tafari lost his life, and what happened was that he was out paddleboarding on a pond near the Obama's home when he lost his balance and fell in the water. He was not wearing his life jacket and he was not attached to the paddleboard, and reportedly fought to stay above the water before eventually succumbing.
Lies. Now, y'all know them people drowned him. Lies. Let's go.
Tafari's body was uncovered after a 2-day search in Edgerton, Great Pond, near the home owned by the Obamas. According to a police report, the search began after a fellow paddleboarder observed him dip into the water, reappear briefly, struggling to stay on the surface, then submerge entirely. The witness also told police they tried to swim to Tafari to save him, but did not reach him in time. Then the person swam to shore, where they alerted someone to call 911. It was reported that when Tafari was visiting Martha's Vineyard at the time of his passing, Barack and Michelle were not present at the residence. But while the conclusion was an accident, some things just didn't make sense. For instance, over 10 days after the incident, authorities were still rejecting requests for even basic facts, including the identity of the sole witness and the 911 caller, including even the gender. But it was later found out that the witness was a woman. The police were citing a public records law exemption that allows police to withhold any information that could jeopardize an active investigation. But it did make sense because they said there was no foul play. At the time, the only matter pending was a toxicology report that could show if Tafari Campbell had in his system or suffered some sort of medical episode. But guess what? That was not possible because the police allegedly lost Tafari's blood sample. According to an unconfirmed source, it was accidentally discarded by a lab intern, and the source said the intern unfortunately put it in the wrong location. It was placed in with batches to be destroyed. Oh, how convenient, right? Out of all the blood samples that could have disappeared, the police lost the blood sample of Barack Obama's chef, and as if that wasn't suspicious enough, information as to the details surrounding the 911 distress call were mysteriously omitted from police logs. Apparently, while the call was added to the logs of the Edgerton Police Department, the critical information detailing the purpose of the Tafari call was left blank. And surprisingly, all other calls on that eventful night were properly documented. And you know what law enforcement said? It was left out due to a clerical error. Again, how so very convenient. Honey, a lot of things have never added up about Tafari's death, and something that was being said was that Tafari had head injuries when he was found, which led people to believe that it was not an accident. There were also reports that he was found in less than 4 feet of water and that the 911 call was made hours after he fell off his paddleboard. And it was also claimed that Obama's personal coroner was the one who conducted the autopsy. Also, there had been claims that Tafari was writing a tell-all book, and he was unalived because of that. Add on to the fact that in 2015, former White House chef Walter Scheib also disappeared while hiking. His body was found several days after he set out on his hike, in what was then described as a mountain drainage flowing with surface runoff. It was not clear what happened since he had been hiking alone, but the cause of death was drowning, just like Tafari. So when followers say that they know the Obamas are hiding a lot of secrets, they are probably onto something. And you know what? It wasn't just Joan Rivers who was out here exposing the Obamas as a prominent figure. Someone like Deanna Lorraine made speculations when she tweeted, "Michelle Obama is releasing a documentary on Netflix called Becoming. I wonder what she's becoming." Another person who made a wild comment is Stu Peters, who also wrote, "Barack doesn't have children, and he definitely doesn't have them with Michelle. Martin Nesbitt and Anita Blanchard are Sasha and Malia Obama's real parents. Nesbitt is also the chairman of the Obama Foundation." Even Chelsea Clinton once suggested that Barack married a man in her since-deleted delusional tweet. In another instance, Lynn Wood brought attention to the fact that the Obama children were adopted, and the world was lied to about something as simple as that. For reference, Lynn Wood and his law firm specialize in defamation lawsuits, and any good lawyer knows not to put anything in writing they cannot defend. We also had Dr. Rafael Espinanzo, who was entrusted with former First Lady Michelle Obama's care during the 2008 presidential election. And apparently, Dr. Rafael said quite a bit as well. Now, I personally cannot confirm the doctor's words, but he allegedly said, "I know what I saw. Michelle Obama is not a woman who used to be a man. Michelle Obama is just a man with breast implants and a huge shaving bill." On the campaign trail, no medical staff were allowed to go near her other than to take vitals if she got sick, which she never did. I know what I know because I walked in on him, while he was taking a leak standing up in the bathroom in Trenton. They paid me millions for my silence, but after seeing what they did to this country, I just can't keep quiet. Let them sue me. Child. Well, like I mentioned, something else that has been said is that Barack is comfortable being with Michelle because he is also allegedly on the DL. I mean, I'm sure y'all have heard about that guy, Larry Sinclair, and how he has said for over a decade that he hooked up with Barack more than once.
I was on a night out, had asked a limo driver if he knew anyone that would be interested in showing me around the town, and it was clear for the limo driver that I was looking for someone to enjoy the night with. The introduction was made through the limo driver.
And what happened?
We had a few drinks. I had made some comments about Warner So we got in the limo and left, and we started drinking. I started snorting. He started smoking. I actually put my hand on his knee and started to rub up his thigh, and I performed Barack Obama.
In addition, as far as the allegations about Barack being on the DL, there's also a letter that has been making rounds that Barack wrote to his ex-girlfriend, Alex McNear, saying that he made love to men every day in the imagination. He wrote, "In regard to homosexuality, I must say that I believe this is an attempt to remove oneself from the present, a refusal perhaps to perpetuate the endless farce of earthly life. You see, I make love to men daily, but in the imagination. My mind is androgynous to a great extent, and I hope to make it more so until I can think in terms of people, not women as opposed to men. But in returning to the body, I see that I have been made a man, and physically in life, I choose to accept that contingency." Yes, a letter about having fantasies doesn't prove anything, but to a lot of people, it does say a lot, considering the allegations that have been made about Barack. People are also saying that someone like Joan Rivers knew exactly what was up, and because of that, they wouldn't be surprised if the Obamas had something to do with her death. Child, I really don't know what to think of everything that is being exposed about the Obamas as of late, but I would love to know your thoughts. Do you think Joan Rivers was onto something? And what are your thoughts about all the alleged skeletons coming to light? Sound off in the comments section below.
I ain't have to help now more, you rotten asshole. Bitch, my mama ain't got a bunch of kids that died. Bitch, all you hoes buried your baby. Fuck y'all pain, bitch.
God, Jesus Christ. That was brutal. But not as brutal as this. Let's catch up now time. Uh-oh. Y'all shouldn't have asked me to do this. So first things first, we're going to start off USAID. Uh-oh. Biden threatened to withhold a $1 billion USAID loan, guarantee unless Ukraine fired the prosecutor investigating his son's company. Victoria Nuland funded the Ukraine coup with USAID money. USAID is the heart of the war between Ukraine and Russia. So hold on, let's see what was said. Hold on. Let's see if they got audio for this. Let's see.
It just happened to be that was the assignment I got. I got all the good ones, so I got Ukraine, and I remember going over convincing our team or others to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over, I guess the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Oh, son of a bitch.
Whoa. That's the most y'all heard the real Joe Biden talk, huh? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lexon. He likes pot meat and link baskets. Yeah. But that's the most you ever heard the ex-president speak, huh? Thank you so much, Lexington, with the 5-piece. So check it. Doge. Democrats in Congress didn't seem to mind that China had remote access to every workstation in the Treasury as recently as December. Now, a month later, they're freaking out that Trump's appointees are accessing the very same computers, demanding violence in the streets. And the heads say China was giving remote access to all Treasury workstations. Oh my. The month before Trump took office, which means Joe Biden and Kamala Harris was in the office, right? Not Trump, right? But I want to see the people get mad at this. The month before Trump took office, Biden's administration sent a letter to Congress admitting that days earlier, a Chinese state-sponsored advanced persistent threat actor secured remote access to every workstation in the Department of the Treasury. Democrats barely blinked an eye. Now that Trump's appointees are accessing the same systems, Democrats are calling for violent street protests. I promise you, I wish they would. That will be the day that we can have a real live purge, and I'm ready. So me, I'm for what's right. I don't care if you Caucasian. I don't care if you indigenous. But this is wrong. You got colored brothers treating some Caucasian folks like dogs in the wake of Black History Month. And I already showed y'all Black History Month only became Black History Month because the government, let's be real, because the Democratic Party and the government only capitalize on it. That's why they called it Black History Month instead of what was called at first, which was Negroes Week Month. Let's go. Let's talk about my boy. Cause see, this stuff that people don't want to talk about. So rewind that. Hold on. Let's rewind that. So let's talk about it. Elon said, we'll drain the swamps and be transparent about it. We're going to be very open and transparent and be very clear about this is what we're doing with Doge. Here are the issues. This is the math for what's been spent. Okay? We're going to make the spending lower. If somebody's got a better idea of how to make the spending lower, tell us. But if we don't, we're going to bankrupt the country. We got to do something. It's got to be some pretty big moves. Audience, drain the swamp. Elon, I'd say drain the swamps. There are so many swamps. Whew. Hold on. Now, let's listen.
We're going to be very open and transparent and be very clear about this is what we're doing. Here are the issues. This is the math for what's being spent. So we're going to make the spending lower. And if somebody's got a better idea for how to make the spending lower, tell us. But if we don't, we're going to bankrupt the country. And so we got to do something. And it's got to be like some pretty big moves. Yeah. I'd say like drain the swamps. There's so many swamps. We're going to be very open.
So then you got the little meme, just putting this out there. The Democrats say no one elected Elon, but the Republicans say no one elected Anthony Fauci, no one elected George Soros, no one elected Bill Gates, no one elected Yi Jianming, no one elected Amos Hodgkin, no one elected Hunter Biden, and no one damn sure elected Kamala Harris as Democratic candidate for president. So what the Democrats need to do is sit down and be quiet until your arrest warrants are finalized, because they're coming. Hold on. Watch this. Breaking. Senator Durbin calls for releasing of the Epstein files to the public, not to the private, to the public. Okay? So hold on. This way it get good at. And this way I feel bad for all of the people who pay taxes. 6,000 journalists and 700 newsrooms received USAID money. It's a wonder all of them parrot the same news. Okay? Hold on. Let's go to it. Let's see what they parrot.
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility
is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about troubling irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
Plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these stories simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Well, that's enough. That stuff hurt my ears. So, hold on. That stuff hurt my ears. Good God Almighty. So pretty much USAID is paying all these folks. All right, let's get into it. Hold on, because we ain't finished.
Tell me about Beyonce.
Hold on, we ain't finished. Uh-oh, we about to go there. Lindy Lee. Despite her repeated denials, Beyonce was paid. Sean Ryan. Who was she paid by? Lindy Lee. And Kamala Harris thought all these people came out to Texas to hear her speak. Yeah, right. Kamala Harris got booed. She got drowned in booze. Cardi B, who famously said she wasn't paid. Her production company was paid to show up. Katy Perry was paid. Christina Aguilera was paid. Oprah wasn't paid $1 million. She was paid $2 million. $2 million to Harpo Productions. Al Sharpton was paid money. People like Roland Martin, who are attacking me now, he was paid $350,000 to interview Kamala. The Pennsylvania Democratic Party was paid $25 million after the chair raised hell for not being paid enough street money. Uh-oh. Let's listen to this. Because these the people who said they didn't get paid. Oh, let's listen.
Tell me about Beyonce.
Despite her repeated denials, Beyonce was paid.
Who was she paid by?
The Harris campaign. She was paid tens of thousands of dollars to not sing. Well, no, she refused to sing. She was paid tens of thousands of dollars to give a speech that no one wanted to hear. And Kamala Harris thought all of these people came out to Texas to hear her speak. Yeah, right. They came to hear Beyonce sing. And you know what? This is the second time they failed to deliver Beyonce. The first time was at the DNC. They promised that Beyonce would perform. Beyonce did not perform. So that was letdown number one. Letdown number two, they went to Texas to prop up this candidate who could never beat Ted Cruz, Colin Allred. And they told NBC News that Beyonce would perform. Beyonce came out and gave this speech, this boring ass speech, and just left without performing. And then Kamala Harris got booed. She got drowned in booze because people didn't really care what she had to say. They were there to hear Queen Bee. So that was number one. Beyonce was paid, show up. Cardi B was paid. Okay, Cardi B, who famously said she wasn't paid, her production company was paid to show up. Katy Perry was paid. Christina Aguilera was paid. These people were all paid. And Oprah wasn't paid $1 million. She was paid $2 million. Okay, let's be very clear.
$2 million.
$2 million to Harpo Productions. Who owns Harpo Productions? Flip Harpo backwards. It spells out Oprah. It's Oprah's production company. It was paid $2 million to put on that town hall in which Meryl Streep calls her Madam President. It was a love fest for Kamala Harris. So Oprah was paid $2 million. And who else? Al Sharpton was paid $500,000 moments before he interviewed her. Okay. An MSNBC anchor, Al Sharpton, was paid money. A so-called journalist was paid money moments before he interviewed the vice president. People like Roland Martin, who are attacking me now, he was paid $350,000 to interview advertising costs, okay? Advertising costs, wink, wink, to interview Kamala Harris. The Pennsylvania Democratic Party was paid $25 million after the chair raised hell for not being paid enough street money. Street money is just a boondoggle. It's a cauldron of corruption. They just hand out money to ward leaders. And so this is how donor money was spent. Donor money was basically set on fire for 5-star hotels luxury trips, private, charter planes, just this ridiculous stuff. And a lot of these donors are hardworking Americans. I had people giving anywhere from $10 to $15 all the way to $1 million. All of them worked hard for their money. And if they knew that their money was spent this way, they never would have given.
You know, there's a lot of corruption coming out right now about USAID. Did they fund any of this campaign?
I don't think they funded any of the Harris campaign, but the Democrats are so pissed off and freaking out about USAID because Trump got it. He hit it on the nail. That's where the corruption is. And we need to look into what happened with that missing Ukraine money. All those billions that were supposed to go over there, and Zelensky said he never got it. What the hell happened to that money? Why are we funding transgender operas around the world? Why? Why are we funding DEI programs, not only here at home, but across the globe?
Uh-oh. So General Mike Flynn. So I guess me being a conspiracy theorist, I guess my pronouns is I told you so. So General Mike Flynn said, let's get this correct. General Mike Flynn said former USAID Director Samantha Power should be indicted for what she's been doing with our hard-earned U.S. taxpayer money. This is out of control, and her problems run far deeper than ripping off American people. See below. She's part of the Obama and Susan Rice team of leftists who've been running our country into the ground for far too long now. Power was directly involved in the Obama administration's surveillance of Trump's 2016 presidential campaign and sought to obtain Michael Flynn's redacted identity using an unmasking request on at least 7 occasions. Fox News Digital previously reported. Despite testifying under oath before the House Intelligence Committee that she had no recollection of ever making such a request even once. These and many others have been working overtime to promote out of control illegal immigration, 2, sustain a sense of perpetual war against Christianity, 3, keep us involved in never-ending wars, 4, use and abuse the evils of the banking system to their advantage, 5, force their Marxist ideologies on American culture to break down the family unit, especially in the Black and Hispanic communities. Wait a minute. Ain't that what they say Trump was doing and Trump trying to do now? See what I mean? When I say if you just read a little bit, you'll see who's really doing it. 6, ETC. Do not kid yourself for those reading this far. There has been a sustained effort by the globalists to destroy America as the last bastion of sovereign freedom. We can survive this, but those Marxist leaders at the forefront, some mentioned here, but there are many more, must be held accountable. I totally agree with Mike Flynn. So it came to me today, not knowing that I had already had this in the chamber waiting, but they said, oh, Donald Trump want to do the death penalty for the Mexicans and for the Black people, which there is no Black people. So me already having this in a chamber already, these are leaked images from Donald Trump's Attorney General, Pam Bondi, confirm his plan to reinstate the federal death penalty. Crimes including treason, child exploitation, and terrorism will once again be punishable by execution. Hold on. Didn't I say this about 3 years ago? And folks told me I didn't know what I was talking about. Well, here's the paperwork. I ain't reading it. You go look for it. You go read it. I got it. You know what I mean? Because treason, since people want to talk about, oh, how can Trump say that? Treason is punishable by death, by either firing squad or injection. And that comes from the forefathers. Okay? This the lady Samantha Power. This the lady that got fired.
Well, you can imagine.
This the lady that got fired because she was stealing taxpayer money from USAID. Listen to what she say.
Well, you can imagine when you suddenly in your inbox find a termination notice or a leave of absence notice that you didn't expect to get on a flawed predicate that you're doing radical leftist insubordination. It's pretty jarring. And because there's so many lies and falsehoods circulating, and so many claims that people are sort of not with the program, I think people are just completely dislocated. There's no stable ground on which to walk. And then, of course, most of them have been laid off, so they're worried about how they're going to pay the bills and how they're going to make rent. But maybe the part that is the most striking and for me inspiring, if not surprising, having worked there for 4 years, is that, you know, the people who work at USAID did not come to work at USAID for the money. The civil servants, the foreign servants, the contractors, they came to USAID because they wanted to make a difference in the world, because they saw America's interests as tied up with the interests of people, vulnerable people around the world. And so even as they're struggling to figure out how to make rent, all of a sudden, they're most struggling with the fear that so many millions of people who relied on us as a country, on USAID as an agency, but on them as individuals, that those individuals out in the world have no place to turn. And indeed, they're showing up and finding health clinics shuttered and soup kitchens closed and advisors who were helping governments renegotiate debt with China, those advisors, now taken off the books. So just the wreckage in the world is what the USAID staff that I'm in touch with are carrying with them. That's what's keeping them up at night, as much as the question of what am I going to do tomorrow, and, how do I take care of my family?
I got one question to ask everybody that's in this chat. How many people got a check from USAID? If you got a check from USAID, please say, I got it. And OB knowledge, how did Trump already commit treason? Right. I never got a check from USAID. But when you know that all your tax money is going to people like Katy Perry and Beyonce and stuff like that, how do you feel? Oprah Winfrey got paid $200 million. Or $2 million, I'm sorry. $2 million. Just to hold a press conference with somebody who can't put a sentence together. What up, King Colton? Don't you think that y'all should have got a check from USAID? I do. I think y'all should have got one. So right here is, as I'm just showing, is Alex Smith exposed CIA, USAID, and Trump's war on the deep state. Y'all can go ahead and look at that. Also, it says breaking: President Trump's EPA administrator, Lee Zetlin, just eliminated the agency's Office of Environmental Justice, which is made up of 200 bureaucrats. Trump is draining the swamp, what he said he was going to do. Now watch this. Elon Musk is paying $40 million of his own money to do 5 30-second Super Bowl commercials exposing government waste that Doge has found. That's bad. That's bad. Justin, Attorney General Pam Bondi puts Jack Smith, Fannie Willis, in her crosshairs. And if anybody know about Pam Bondi, she don't let up. Hold on. This is for the new impeachment that they're trying to do on Donald Trump now. Check it out.
You have this new piece on Substack that the USAID and the CIA helped orchestrate Trump's impeachment?
Yeah, I mean, Jesse, it's a crazy story. I mean, you might forget that, the House of Representatives impeached President Trump in December of 2019. Many people may not remember that it was a CIA analyst who was left over from the Obama White House who wrote the memo that led to the impeachment. It was all based on hearsay. The person had not actually been in the room with Trump. Nonetheless, this memo that he wrote relied heavily on a report done by an organization funded by USAID. In fact, its initial founding funding, I mean, now it's tens of millions of dollars, had gone into this group called the Organized Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, a name that's not very memorable, OCCRP, but it was basically created as an extension of the State Department and then of USAID. And as you know, Jesse, this is very serious to be involved in an effort to do regime change at home, as we've been discovering as the files have come out with what Elon Musk has been doing. We know that US aid was really about regime change abroad. It was a kind of public-facing part, regime change operation like CIA, but not covert, more overt. Well, now you see a similar blowback, just like they did censorship abroad and brought censorship tools back home. They were doing this sort of thing abroad, creating a predicate essentially for Trump's impeachment. So I think it's just one of many revelations that we'll see coming out in the next few weeks.
So USAID was involved in regime change abroad and here at home. Very interesting. If you want to read more about what Mike's talking about, go to his Substack after the show. Don't go right now. Go after the show. Thanks, Mike. You have this new piece on Substack.
So also they trying to do an impeachment on Trump now. Check this out.
I mean, those children, those little girls all around President Trump signing that order that men are banned from women's sports. They're not going to steal their titles in MMA or in swimming or in basketball or in track or in boxing or in wrestling or in cycling. This assault on our human biology, this globalist transhuman system to destabilize and collapse society in their own documents is in total collapse. So is their global carbon tax program and their AI New World Order social credit score. Trump is outperforming my wildest dreams at an accelerated pace that is dizzying. All right, I have gotten in the zone today because there's so much news. It's also incredibly important. I have a tendency with each big story to try to connect it to everything because it's all connected and it just makes the top of my head blow off. I've been doing okay. Doing a B+ lately. Most people think I'm doing great, but I don't. I'm going 100 today. I'm getting a total A+. I am massively prepared to chronicle all the good things that are happening, how the enemy's striking back.
Right, Lexington?
And then to drill into the genius of what Trump and his advisors are doing. This is just incredible. And of course, the biggest news, which if you're a listener, you already know this, and a lot of you knew before you ever tuned into me, there's been a real CIA coup since '63 when they killed Kennedy. But now in the U.S. aid documents alone, we have the multiple impeachments funded against Trump illegally. That's total election meddling, what they claim the Russians were doing with no evidence. And it is a coup against the 2020 election, massively involved there. Massively involved in pushing lies and disinfo, covering up the Fedsurrection, all of it. And so these are multiple CIA coups against Trump and the American people and our election integrity. Now, I've been saying that forever, and said that yesterday and said that the day before, specifically with headlines, but now it's mainstream knowledge. It's all over the news, and the Democrats are saying, yeah, well, Trump's a bad guy. We did that. Sending money to Ukraine, directed by the CIA, through USAID and other groups, back to the Democratic Party, back to the corporate media, and then back specifically to Democrats and lobbyists to direct the propaganda and the mechanics of multiple impeachments, but particularly the fake Ukraine impeachment that failed, and then massive election meddling in 2020, and then ongoing into 2024.
So pretty much it's been a big impeachment thing that's going on, right? Because they don't want Trump to uncover what's going on now. So So Pam Bondi, I'm about to show you. Pam Bondi is breaking down who was on Jeff Epstein's plane. Check this out.
Well, we know he was on the plane, not only on the plane a couple times, multiple times. He traveled internationally with Jeffrey Epstein, and he was on the plane called the Lolita Express because it supposedly had a bed in there where Jeffrey Epstein had young girls. He has been a friend of his, a continuing friend of his for years and years. Contrast that with Donald Trump, who hasn't spoken to him in many years, over a decade, after he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago for bad behavior. So that's the difference there. And I think Americans see the two-tier justice system. But, you know, we don't know. They're saying Clinton has not been to his private island, but he has traveled all over the world with Jeffrey Epstein. I want to know why AG Garland and the Justice Department are so quiet on this tonight. You know, they're out there labeling parents domestic terrorists, yet they're saying nothing about this. And these documents were so slow to come out. Human trafficking is a multi-billion-dollar business in this country, and Jeffrey Epstein is dead, and Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for 20 years where she belongs. And if people in that report are still fighting to keep their names private, Sean, they have no legal basis to do so unless they're a child, a victim, or a cooperating defendant by some chance against some potential case against Ghislaine Maxwell. And I think Mark Garagos, as a great criminal defense attorney, will back that up as well.
Ooh, now watch this.
And I'm proud to be part of that.
I'm glad to hear that. Let me start with you've cracked down on sanctuary cities. The DOJ has put a pause on all federal funding to sanctuary cities and states. You filed a lawsuit against Chicago and the state of Illinois for being a sanctuary city. Am I wrong in my interpretation that a sanctuary city is aiding and abetting in lawbreaking?
Sean, what they're doing is they are choosing illegal aliens over the safety and security of their own citizens and the men and women of law enforcement who are out there trying to protect their citizens. Not only did we sue today the city of Chicago, we sued the state of Illinois, we sued the mayor, we sued the governor, and we sued others. And let me be very clear, if you don't comply with federal law, you're going to be next.
What about those that we now know apparently tipped off the Tren de Aragua?
And I'm proud to be part of that.
I'm glad to hear that. Let me start with
So that means all sanctuary cities.
The problem is systemic.
Like crazy. So let's look at what's going on. Let's look at what Natalie Winters have to say about the USAID.
The problem is systemic in the sense that all the American people get to understand about the billions, if not trillions of taxpayer dollars that we are hemorrhaging to these foreign countries or to these US-based NGOs is like the start date, the end date, and maybe 50-word summary and who it's going to. And the summary is typically something along the lines of countering disinformation. And the group that it's going to, sometimes it's an undisclosed foreign recipient or undisclosed domestic recipient, and there's nothing we can do to understand who that money's going to. But more precisely, and this was reporting that Raheem Kassam and I had sit over at the National Pulse years ago, we had looked up on Google Maps dozens of the addresses of the so-called, fact-checking grant recipients or the misinformation grant recipients. They're shacks on the side of the road. They're non-existent entities. It is clean and simple, pure and simple money laundering. Moreover,
wow.
Just for the folks back home real quick before I get into my questions, I want
Hold on, Lauren. Let's go.
to just highlight 1 million seconds is 11.5 days. 1 billion seconds is 31 years and 7 months. It's like this is a huge difference. So when we're talking about billions of dollars going towards the cruelty of animals, it is much larger than what it sounds because it's been so watered down to hear that Congress is spending millions or billions or even trillions of dollars. God forbid if we find out what comes after $1 trillion, we'll start spending that too. But Mr. Goodman, since 1998, how much do you believe that the federal government has spent on animal cruelty testing?
Thank you for the question. That's, as we've been discussing, it's tough because there's not a lot of transparency about actually how much tax dollars are being spent. I would say we're probably looking at $1 trillion in spending by NIH since '98, and if about 47% of that is used for experiments on animals, half $1 trillion could have potentially been spent on animal testing since 1998.
That is an extreme number. Thank you for that. And Mr. Goodman, how much money do you think that NIAID wasted on unethical and useless and abusive testing? I would imagine it's about the same because none of this has been very useful or effective.
Yeah, so Dr. Fauci ran NIAID from 1984 to 2022, and when he left at the end of 2022, it had a $6.5 billion budget. Again, we don't know what percentage of that was for animal testing, but probably higher than the average across NIH. And I just want to make a note here that Dr. Fauci, and I don't have any issue with him outside of his abuse of animals, he was not just a paper pusher. He was personally involved in animal experimentation, experimenting on monkeys, giving them HIV-like viruses until the day he left NIH. He was a lead investigator on grants that were funded by taxpayers to do that. And he started his career by infecting chimpanzees with HIV and promising we were going to have an AIDS vaccine back in the 80s, which we never got because, as you mentioned, they don't get HIV, they don't get AIDS, they don't get sick. So there's been an enormous amount of waste and abuse, and his legacy, unfortunately, he's gone from government, but his legacy at NIAID lives on.
Yes, fortunately, he has gone from government, but that doesn't prevent us from holding him accountable for not only the wasteful spending, but the cruel tests that have taken place over the years. So maybe you answered my next question. How many of these treatments have found cures in humans that come from this cruel kind of testing?
Virtually none. We've heard the statistics today, and any that have come, it's out of pure dumb luck, and they're the exception, not the rule, because animal experiments are a dead end. It's pure chance if something good comes out of it.
Wow. And that's what's going on.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General.
Hold on, man, because I don't want y'all to overtalk me. But this is crazy. This is what you're spending on. And y'all thinking that your taxpayer money goes to the roads and goes to the highways and no, it don't. It go to these people's pockets. And I've been saying it for the longest. So, New York Attorney General Letitia James is threatening Elon Musk over blocking USAID fraud. She is filing lawsuits. And then she says Doge has no authority to access Americans' private information or to block critical payments. With that being said, I think Letitia James do not understand what is going on. I don't think she understands exactly what is going on. If you notice, Letitia James said, she pretty much said that Elon Musk or Doge has no authority to access Americans' private information or to block critical payments. Elon Musk may be the world's richest man, but he is not above the law. So watch this. What makes Elon Musk any different from the other crooks that were stealing from the American people? And if you notice, she's not calling the American citizens at all. I'm going to break that down to you too. But Letitia, remember what the lawyer said? Check it out.
Let me just say this to Big Tish James, the New York Attorney General. I dare you. I dare you to try to continue your lawfare against President Trump in his second term, because listen here, sweetheart, we're not messing around this time, and we will put your fat ass in prison for conspiracy against rights, and I promise you that. So think long and hard before you want to violate President Trump's constitutional rights or any other American's constitutional rights. It's not going to happen again.
We've been warning people on the show, Mike, this isn't the same Trump administration. Stop messing around. Don't rig elections. Don't illegally vote. Don't try the funny business because we know the team this time and they are not effing around.
That part right there. Let's finish, because I'm mainly doing this for the people over on Facebook, but that says, oh, Elon Musk and Trump is wrong. Okay, let's go there. This is where the big money fraud is happening. Doge aids search Medicare agency payment systems for fraud. Hold on. Now do y'all understand why Trump had to shut stuff down first? Because you got to go in and investigate these agencies. But nobody understood that. Why? Because Trump did it. If it was anybody else, it would be, yeah. But because Trump did it, nobody understand. So hold on. I heard somebody tell me today, oh no, but I'd rather have Kamala Harris. Okay, well, Kamala Harris was stumped when asked how she would pay for her plans, and then admitted that our taxes would go up. Check it out.
Madam Vice President, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill. Good to be with you.
Can we just get just a little bit of a question, please, so I can get it over the shoulder shot?
Yeah.
One second. Just a second. Okay, thank you.
You need me talking?
Yes, sir.
Well, we were talking about how you're going to pay for it, and I mean, I truly do mean it. Your plans are logical, make logical sense. The way Washington works is not logical. So how are you going to convince a divided Congress that what you say, your plans, are something that they should all agree to and provide to the American people when they've shown no inclination to do that up to this point?
Is that what you needed?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. 30 seconds of silence, please, for room time. Cameras are off.
How will you?
It's going to be taxes. It's going to be literally, if the economists, I mean, they're from each spectrum.
But I hear what you're saying about the economists. This is true.
Yeah.
But Congress is not the economists.
I know, but
Wow. And y'all wanted that in office?
The majority are basically whites.
Mm-mm. Now, this is the Black Lives Matter leader, Mama Maxine Waters, right? Now, I need y'all to do this math for me. Maxine Waters lives in a $4.6 million mansion, has a net worth of over $5.3 million on a government salary of $174,000 a year, and paid her daughter $100,000 a year for 10 years. How is that possible? I'm gonna ask again. Maxine Waters lives in a $4.6 million mansion, has a net worth of over $5.3 million on a government salary of $174,000 a year, and paid her daughter $100,000 a year for 10 years. Now, I'm going to ask y'all this. Do you think Pam Bondi needs to put research into Mama Maxine? I think so, because she's the #1 sugar honey iced tea starter. You know what I mean? She's the #1. Oh, that's about media. Here it is, right? Well, that's the 16. That's a lot. But federal documents prove Obama ordered the creation of COVID-19 in 2015. Renowned lawyer Tom Rentz and Alex Jones lay out the stunning historical fact that COVID-19 has been a long-term deep state project, and that not only was it created in a lab, it was made right here in America. So I guess the China virus and the American virus were together. But nobody want to talk about that. They want to lie to y'all and say, oh, Trump is all about Project 2025. Project 2025. But listen. Listen. Trump don't have nothing to do with Project 25. Trump have everything to do with Agenda 47. Now watch this. USAID was funding over 6,200 journalists across 707 media outlets and 279 media NGOs, including 9 out of 10 media outlets in Ukraine. Y'all see I have the paperwork right there at the bottom, which is right here. And you see the circle going back and forth. But I need the Democrats to wake up and join this brother right here. Shout out to brother Isaiah L. Carter. He came to the good team, and here we go. Listen to what he had to say.
This fucking political party, the Democratic Party, have lied to us about everything. They've lied about being the party of the middle class. They've lied about being the party of peace. They've lied about being the party that wants to help poor people. Okay? What the last several weeks have proven to us all is that this is a cadre of criminals and losers and spoiled children of affluent parents who were more concerned about looking good than actually doing good. These are people who were more concerned about looking like they were doing something for the American people than actually doing things for the American people. And that's why I'm so angry. Because this party lied to me while stealing my tax dollars. The Democratic Party lied to us all while they brought in millions of illegal immigrants for their own political purposes for the last 4 years. 20 to 30 million illegal aliens brought in, and now we come to USAID being probably the largest money laundering operation in American history. Congratulations, Dems. You've outdone even Bernie Madoff. I'm disgusted beyond words. Disgusted with the waste of money. Disgusted with the waste, with the fraud. With the way that you people use color legitimacy, and the way you use black people as fucking mules to get us to push whatever fucking agenda you wanted to. The amount of division you used black people to sow upon the American people, you used us for that. And I will never, ever forgive this political party. The shit that I've gone through personally. Y'all were supposed to be the party of free speech, the party of women's rights. You have immolated all of those things. And then, as if enough weren't enough, you then decide that you're going to die on the hill of USAID, a government audit. You're trying to prevent a government audit because some of you really are trying to stay out of prison. We see the game now. Y'all been out here telling us that the game was rigged against certain people. Well, now we found out who the people that were rigging the game were. Congratulations. Y'all are never going to win another political race ever again. Not if I can help it.
Isaiah, man, I'm with you, man. Isaiah wasn't playing. He said, not if I can help it. Now watch this. Not only is that bad enough, Real Robbie posted, and this is Matthew Rosenberg, national security correspondent for the Democrat Times, formerly New York Times, a USAID recipient, busted on camera admitting there were a ton of FBI informants among the people who attacked the Capitol. Uh-oh. See, the people over on Facebook, y'all don't want to talk about this. because y'all want to believe that January 6th were Trump supporters. When I told y'all there's nowhere in hell that the Trump supporters could have got from where Trump was speaking at over to the Capitol in that short amount of time. So I'm so over the continued establishment narrative that drums up the severity of January the 6th. It's like January 6th stuff, but it's like I'm so over it at this point. I'm so over it. But like all these colleagues who were in the Capitol building and they're young and are like, oh my God, it was so scary. I'm like, F off. I'm like, you know, one of the issues here is that like the Fox News of the world. And I'm going to pause there because I want y'all to hear him say it in his voice, not in my voice. Okay? So check this out. Here we go.
It's like January 6th stuff that is like so over at this point. It's so over. The left's overreaction, the left's reaction to it in some places was so over the top. It was like me and two other colleagues who were there, who were outside. And we were just having fun. Dude, come on. Like, you were not in any danger.
Matthew Rosenberg is a Pulitzer Prize-winning national security correspondent for the New York Times.
Are you allowed to have that much fun on January 6th? Are you supposed to be mourning?
I know. So if you're traumatized. But like, all these colleagues who are in the building, a little younger, who's like, oh my God, it's so scary. I'm like, oh, God.
Is that really the vibe there?
From them. I'm like, come on. Like, it's not the kind of place I can sit tell someone to man up, but I kind of want to. You're like, dude, come on. Like, you were not in any danger.
Got in ZELLE, got in Adam, we called him, someone should be in his conversation.
Who's inside?
Little dweebs. They keep going on about their trauma. I'm like, guys, shut the f*** up. I don't know if they wrote about their trauma. This chick named Emily Cochran and this guy named Nick Fandos. They're both like in their 20s.
Wow. Wow.
That's the story, but it's in a meeting. I'm like, you know, one of the issues here is that, like, on the Fox News of the world and elsewhere, is that the left's overreaction, the left's reaction to it in some places was so over the top that it gave the opening, the right even, to start introducing the idea of, well, these people are out of control. Like, it's not a big deal as they're making it, because they were making it too big a deal. They were making this organized thing that it wasn't. And that gave the opening for the lunatics on the right to be like, oh, well, nothing happened here. It was just a peaceful bunch of tourists, you know? And it's like, just, but nobody was here.
There were a ton of FBI informants on the people who attacked the Capitol.
That was us.
Not the right one, us.
For the CIA, NSA, just like, if you work there, you get polygraphed every year. And you're asked to discover the way forward. If your answer is anything but no, you're in big trouble. Sure, I've been talking to former people who are talking to people who are still there.
As I told y'all, it was the CIA that stormed the Capitol, that bust the windows of their own Capitol because they wanted to make it seem like it was the Trump supporters. So they put on the Trump hats and Trump shirts. But when I said that, I was told
Continue to be on our.
I was told that I was a liar. I was told that I didn't know what I was talking about. You had people, innocent people, that was locked up by the Biden regime that actually took their life in prison because they couldn't deal with the fact that they was being locked up in a jail cell and treated inhumanely for nothing. But y'all don't want to talk about that. Y'all want to talk about, oh, Trump shutting down this. Oh no, Elon Musk and his little kids is accessing USAID and federal funding. But the people that had it before them, they were stealing from you. And what's the first thing y'all say? And we want transparency and we want truth. And when you get it, y'all reject it. This reminds me of the story of Jesus. When he came and healed the sick, rose the dead, and people rejected him when he didn't do what they wanted him to do. And now it sounds like a bunch of y'all that's on these platforms that's, oh my God, Trump doing this, Trump doing this. Trump is doing what he said he was going to do from day one, and he's doing what needs to be done. Oh, Trump taking away food stamps. Why were you on food stamps 27 years? It's time to be independent and stop being dependent. And we can't go and get crab legs and everything by the boatload no more. Why? You can still go get it. Now you got to get out and work for it. You just can't sit and expect the government to take care of you. That's not what food stamps were for. Food stamps was to help you get on your foot or feet until you really get back into the swing of things at work. But I know some females who get damn near $1,300 in food stamps and $900 in cash. And they get it on the 5th, and by the 8th, they selling the food stamps just to get more cash. But wait a minute. What about your 7 babies that need to eat? Y'all don't want the truth. Y'all don't want the truth. White House press secretary, talk to us, baby.
Continue to be on our hearts, and the president and this administration are committed to ensuring that these individuals get the funding that they need. And I would just say a strong message to Democrats who are out there pretending to be outraged about the long list of crap that this administration is cutting, federal waste and funding, like $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala, $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt, $20 million on a new Sesame Street show in Iraq, $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. I could go on, and I'm happy to provide this list to every single one of you. Democrats are outraged that the American people want to be, they want their taxpayers going to good uses, not stuff like this. But then they're very quiet about the fact that there are still North Carolinians and people in California who have lost everything. And in the last 4 years, this federal government did nothing to help them. This president will continue to put Americans first. And I think the successes of this week so far speak to that. And it's only Wednesday. So I'll see you guys later this week, and we'll see you this afternoon. Thank you very much.
That's what a real press secretary looked like. Y'all were so used to the lady of color. 4 years of lying to y'all. But check this out. USAID gifted a cement factory to Hamas. How $310 million in U.S. taxpayer money helped create Gaza terror tunnels. Now, I'm going to ask people in my chat, are y'all upset yet? That's all I want to know. Because if y'all not upset, I'm going to keep on goddamn going. So are y'all upset yet? Because Senator Eric Schmidt breaks down some of the insane spending. I'm just trying.
Because you can't really defend this kind of stuff. $45 million for diversity and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $3 million.
Stop. Wait a minute. You got people over here in the U.S. crying about DEI. And ain't none of it being spent here. It's been spent $45 million in Burma. Listen to this. Where is Burma? I never heard of it until I read this. Now check this out.
Because you can't really defend this kind of stuff. $45 million for diversity and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $3 million for girl-centered climate action in Brazil. $125 million to racialize public health. $288,000 for diverse birdwatcher groups. USAID, which is in the center of the storm right now, and rightfully so, spent $1.5 billion to, quote, advance diversity, equity, inclusion in Serbia's workplaces and business communities. $70,000 for the production of a DEI musical in Ireland. $2.5 billion for electric vehicles for Vietnam. $47,000 for a transgender opera in Columbia. Not Columbia, Missouri, or Columbia, South Carolina, the country of Colombia. $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt. This is what they're mad about.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm so sick and tired of that LGBTQ shit. And I'm going to be honest with you. Them people, I know some of them folks ain't do nothing to nobody. Some of them folks are beautiful people. But when you got the government that uses them people to humiliate and destroy what's being built here, I say destroy all of it. That's what I say. Destroy all of it. Because at the end of the day, ain't none of it right. Ain't none of it right. Now, once again, I don't know why. Once again, this is pure evil. American taxpayers. Guess what? We paid for the Hamas terrorist tunnels under Gaza for years. Trump was right. We should own Gaza because we paid for it. They don't want the truth. They don't want the truth. Hold on. Let's go. Democrats hold on. What? You know what? I'm going to let Byron Donald tell you. Let's go.
That is not true. That is hyperbole. Those are false narratives and fake news, which unfortunately gets into media far too often from the Democrat side of the aisle. Elon is looking at how access to the Treasury payment system. He's looking at how all of the systems work, but he doesn't have command and control access. That is simply not true. And furthermore,
nobody has read-only access. He can see our Social Security numbers and so forth, right?
Let me be clear. There is nothing he can do without approval from either the President of the United States or with respect to members of Congress voting for it in legislation. But let's also be very clear. Let's not act like the United States has been able to pass audits every single year. That is not the case. So you got to have somebody who understands how to reorganize organizations and get them to be lean and efficient. And that's what Elon is doing. The vitriol and the misnomers and the mischaracterizations and the talking points from the Democrats are just that, talking points. But they were in control in Washington. Look at what they have done. I think they need to sit down and take a beat, figure out how they're going to organize their party. We're going to take it from here. We're going to make sure that we get this government organized in the most efficient and proper way.
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, what else is what else there to say? Watch this. Infuriating. The Democratic Party hates you. John LaFleur said, you paid for this. USAID funneled $27 million to Black Lives Matter through the Tides Foundation. Uh-oh. And look what happened to your cities. Every time Black Lives Matter stepped on the scene, look what happened to your cities. It got burned down, right? I'm just saying. Now we're going to talk about Doge. And
I'm here with U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in Washington.
And we're going to talk about Doge, and that's going to be enough for the day. Okay? Check this out.
I'm here with U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in Washington. Mr. Secretary, thank you for joining me.
So good to see you.
Mr. Secretary, we are inside the cash room at the Treasury Department. It is almost impossible to overstate how important the work that is done in this building is to the U.S. financial system. Yet right now, there is widespread concern about the Doge team's access to sensitive payment systems. Are you worried at all that that access and that tinkering of the payment systems could affect the Treasuries market or cause any disruption?
Good. Well, Soleil, thank you for asking me about that because there's a lot of misinformation out there. First of all, when you say the Doge team, these are Treasury employees. It is 2 Treasury employees, one of whom I personally interviewed in his final round. There is no tinkering with the system. They are on read-only. They are looking. They can make no changes. It is an operational program to suggest improvement. So we make 1.3 billion payments a year. And this is 2 employees who are working with a group of long-standing employees.
The letter that the Treasury Department sent earlier this week talked about how the team currently does not have access to change the system. Have they at any point this year had the ability to make changes?
Absolutely not. This is no different than you would have at a private company. And by the way, the ability to change the system sits over at the Federal Reserve. So it doesn't even lie in this building. So they could make suggestions on how to change the system, but we don't even run the system.
And if they ask for, if they request the ability to change the system, would you grant that?
No, again, they have no ability to change the system. I have no ability to grant that change. That they can make suggestions, then it would go to the Federal Reserve, and just like any large ERP system, there would be tests, there would be this, there would be that, and then the Fed will determine whether these changes are robust or not.
As the Secretary of Treasury, you also oversee the IRS. Do you know what kind of access the team has to IRS data or individual taxpayer data?
Well, I'm glad you asked that too, because look, the IRS, the privacy issue is one of the biggest issues. And over the past 4 years, we've seen a lot of leaks out of there. The IRS systems are quite poor. When I started in college in 1980, I learned the program in COBOL. I think there are 12 different systems at the IRS that still run on COBOL. But as of now, there is no engagement at the IRS.
And if they request that access, would you sign off on that request?
They haven't, so we'll take that when it comes to it. I think there is a lot to do there, but the president was elected with a big agenda, and to the extent that getting the IRS in better shape is part of that, sure. Because look, with the IRS, what am I concerned about? I am concerned about collections. I'm concerned about privacy. And I'm concerned that the system is robust.
But do you
and customer service.
But do you think that if they ask for access, that is something you would consider signing off on?
There are a lot of things I would consider, but look, we're in the middle of the tax filing season right now. We even, with the government buyouts that expire at midnight tonight, we have mandated that the IRS customer-facing employees, that they're not eligible for that until May 15th. So I don't imagine anything's going to go on at the IRS until then or beyond.
Wow. Last but not least, $26.3 billion in wasteful spending found and eliminated in 1 week. And these people elected by us are trying to stop it. Now, let's go here to our last video for the day. You know what I mean? Our last video. Americans are having to work multiple jobs just to survive. Why your tax dollars are taken to pad the pockets of the rich and famous. Chelsea Clinton reported pocketed $85 million through USAID linked to the Clinton Foundation. But for what? What did she do to deserve that? Now watch this. They always want to say Trump just want to make the richer rich. Trump just said he's cutting all the rich folks and the sport owners. But how Chelsea Clinton get $85 million through USAID? You know what? I'm gonna let this brother talk till I'm gone. Check it out.
Chelsea Clinton got paid $85 million through the USAID. $85 million? For what? What did she do? It's all based off of the Clinton Foundation. How did she receive $85 million? And then you have Angelina Jolie and all these celebrities that were paid millions and millions of dollars to do a photo op with Zelensky in Ukraine to help his popularity. It is unbelievable how the American people have literally done without and literally working 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet in the last 4 years. Now we know our tax dollars has literally been enriching celebrities and wealthy people as the American people have been starving. It's disgusting. Chelsea Clinton got paid $85.
So the question is this right here. Who's working for the rich? It seemed like the Democrats, they're working for the rich, while the Republicans are trying to restore everything. See what I'm saying? And see how the Democrats use the media to flip people's minds and to brainwash people, especially over on Facebook. But for the people that say they are American citizens, I always tell y'all, be careful what you say you are. I say y'all not citizens. Yes, I am. I was born here. So that don't mean nothing. That's why I tell people, correct your birth status, because once this birthright citizenship pass or become legal, you could be held liable. Nuh-uh, I was born here. They can't touch me. When you read, you'll understand. A citizen of the United States is a civically dead entity operating as a co-trustee and co-beneficiary of the PCT, which is the Public Charitable Trust. The constructive civic trust of the U.S. Inc. under the 14th Amendment, which upholds the debt of the USA and U.S. Inc. Congressional Record, June 13th, 1967, pages 15641 to 15646. So was Trump lying when he said birthright citizenship is only for the 14th Amendment slave? Understand who you are, man. Understand who you are. And in the words of my little boy 7, you ain't doing your shit right. That's all I'm saying. Understand who you are. And when you understand who you are, you'll know the 14th Amendment don't apply to you. I'm just saying. Understand who you are. On that note, DanaJay gone. But I'm going to leave you with something that go a little something like this.
As a part of that, you had someone by the name of David Thorstad, who was the founder of NAMBLA. So you had NAMBLA, gay rights, all coming together. The founder of the gay rights movement used to wear a shirt that on the front, he said gay rights for all, equal rights, etc. And on the back, it said NAMBLA walks with me. So he even endorsed NAMBLA, which was the North American Man-Boy Love Association, which is men who love boys. They had a combination and a joint movement with the gay rights movement. In fact, as a part of that culture, you have agreements. This is how it was. If you had a boy that you were, having sexual relations with, 12, 13, 14, 15, you'd have to do a number of things. 1, you'd have to promise him protection. 2, you'd have to promise that you would educate him. 3, you'd have to make sure that you would always provide for him, whatever that may be. There were actual terms and agreements when it came to you having sexual relations with a little boy back in ancient Greek and Rome. As men, they would actually tie our hands down, spread our hands, spread our legs, and they would physically rape us. Slave masters would rape black men in front of his entire family, sometimes in front of the whole plantation. They bring them all out. The bigger the black man, the stronger the black man, the more they would rape him, the more they would buck him, just to make sure that none of them would be inspired to do anything to fight back. Do the same things with the drag queen reading hour, where grown men dress up as women and they read to little children.
Ooh. Right, Miss Shirley.
If you think you can do it, if you think you can walk the runway with the girl, who wants to be a diva for the day? Well, all right, this is my partner.
Well, since everybody's getting their own sexual orientation, hell, we might as well get our own. They have petitioned to switch pedophilia to give it its own sexual orientation like lesbian, gay, bisexual, transsexual, queer, and straight. And so they're switching it into something called pedosexual. They had a TED Talk recently in 2018 in Germany, I believe, where a young lady was promoting. She said, what is pedophilia? She said, it's a normal feeling.
According to current research, pedophilia is an unchangeable sexual orientation, just like, for example, heterosexuality. No one chooses to be a pedophile. No one can cease being one. The difference between pedophilia and other sexual orientations is that living out this sexual orientation will end in a disaster.
Whoa. On that note,
lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of
Get the fucking nigga in there.
let our rejoicing rise high as the listening sky. Let it resound. Let it resound. As the rolling sea.
good night, Miss Shirley.
I like this part right there. Come on. Sing a song full of the faith that the Lord has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of a new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won. Let me add a little something to it. Just encourage you. We'll take it to church later. Let's go. All the brothers out there. To all my sisters in the struggle. Keep believing, sisters, till the victory is won. Until that day. Hey. Let us march on to victory. Till victory is won.
Wow. Awesome. But before I get out of here, I just want to let y'all know.
What? Yeah, I ain't scared to put the nigga in the ass. Send me to jail. I ain't scared to fuck a nigga in the ass. What? Yeah, I ain't scared to put the nigga in the ass. Send me to jail. I ain't scared to fuck a nigga in the ass. What? Yeah, I ain't scared to put the nigga in the ass. Send me to jail. I ain't scared to fuck a nigga in the ass. What? Yeah, I ain't scared to put the nigga in the ass. Send me to jail. I ain't scared to fuck a nigga in the ass. What? Yeah, I ain't scared to put the nigga in the ass. Send me to jail. I ain't scared to fuck a nigga in the ass.
He's trying to make us seem like we don't know what we doing and we liars and all this other stuff. Because you keep giving him an audience. I don't know why y'all doing all these live chats. There's so much work that needs to be done for New York. New York is going to be huge. But all of this back and forth, that's counterproductive. Robert needs us. He's getting his ass beat in jail. We need to do the work. Sharon, he's working with thugs. We are supposed to get all the information. He's been giving that shit to Larry and them. I know that. But what can we do about it? There's nothing we can do about it except do the work in New York. The plan that I said, do not talk to anybody about what we're doing in New York. We do New York, we got the president in this fucking game. Period.
I have a black son, okay? Okay, sweetheart, I get it. Baby, she's trying to come together. We all trying to come together. Kid, tell me how to feel, okay? Hold on. It's okay. I have a black son, okay? Okay, sweetheart, I get it. Baby, she's trying to come together. We all trying to come together. Kid, tell me how to feel, okay? Hold on. It's okay.
Hey, now y'all, these are kids that are like 15 and 16. Hey, now y'all, these are kids that are like 15 and 16. Now y'all, these are kids that are like 15 and 16.
I have a black son, okay? Okay, sweetheart, I get it. Baby, she's trying to come together. We all trying to come together. Kid, tell me how to feel, okay? I have a black son, okay? Okay, sweetheart, I get it. Baby, she's trying to come together. We all trying to come together. Kid, tell me how to feel, okay? I have a black son, okay? Okay, sweetheart, I get it. Baby, she's trying to come together. We all trying to come together. Kid, tell me how to feel, okay? Hold on. It's okay.
Now y'all, these are kids that are like.
Period. My eyes are on President Trump. I can't focus on anything else. This man is in prison getting his ass beat, and we out here fucking around with bullshit. We have to help Robert, and that means focus on the job at hand. Let's get these flyers done. Let's rehearse what the fuck we got to say. Let's get the road in black. We go here on this night. We go here on this night. We leave here. All of that needs to be synchronized so that nobody can come in and fuck shit up. We get in front of Trump Tower, we got the president's eyes. That's going to help Robert. Nothing short of the president of the United States is going to help him. And for us to focus on Dana, but you don't need him. He's trying to make it seem like we don't know what he's doing, and we liars.
I have a black son, okay? Yes, sweetheart, I get it. Baby, she's trying to come together.
There's so much work that needs to be done for New York. New York is going to be huge, but all of this back and forth, that's counterproductive. Robert needs us. He's getting his ass beat in jail. We need to do the work. Sharon, he's working with thugs. We don't have to be, the information. He's been giving that shit to Larry and them. I know that. But what can we do about it? There's nothing we can do about it except do the work in New York. The plan that I said, do not talk to anybody about what we're doing in New York. We do New York, we got the president in this fucking game.
I have a black
Period.
son, okay?
Period. My eyes on President Trump. I can't focus on anything else. This man is in prison getting his ass beat, and we out here fucking around with bullshit. flag. So we go there on this night. We go there on this night. When we leave here, all of that needs to be synchronized so that nobody can come in and fuck shit up. We get in front of Trump Tower, we got the president's eyes. But that's going to help Robert. Nothing short of the president of the United States is going to happen. And for us to focus on
I have a black son, okay? Thank you, honey. I get it. Yeah, tell me how to feel, okay?
Motherfuckers, I'm gonna get you motherfuckers back. Everything you did to me and my family.
Whoa! It's Sean. This shit don't stop. Hey, you ain't fucking with me. I don't know who need to hear this, but you ain't fucking with me. It's only one young. I'm a one-on-one. Don't need to call me twin. Whoa! It's Sean. This shit don't stop. Hey, you ain't fucking with me. I don't know who need to hear this, but you ain't fucking with me. It's only one young. I'm a one-on-one. Don't need to call me twin. Whoa! It's Sean. This shit don't stop. Hey, you ain't fucking with me. I don't know who need to hear this, but you ain't fucking with me. It's only one young. I'm a one-on-one. Don't need to call me twin. Whoa! It's Sean. This shit don't stop. Hey, you ain't fucking with me. I don't know who need to hear this, but you ain't fucking with me. It's only one young. I'm a one-on-one. Don't need.
Swimming in you. Hey, little mama said I wanna take her. Dipping your pool. Just go for a little dive, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.